I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Here's an update about what's going on at Yellowstone. I was going to do a report about some of the roads being closed after a winter storm went through there, and there was close to 30 accidents. The back basin is closed. They say it's so they can do work on the infrastructure and boardwalks, things like that. Yeah, it's closed for the season. They've been having a swarm of earthquakes in this location, in the back basin, also by a fault zone that I call Grizzly Lake Fault Zone, the Madison River area. There, the swarm was triggered by a magnitude 3.8 earthquake that they had in that location, but USGS said it was a magnitude 3.7. And there was quite a few felt reports that came in. Here is the location of that magnitude 3.7. Now that was on the 28th, a few days ago, and I seen it come in, but yeah, I got other work that I need to do. Been trying to winterize this trailer. Let me bring this out. This is the location. Yeah, they've been having a lot of swarms. This is the Grizzly Lake Fault Zone that I call it. I don't know if they actually have a real name for it. But then over here to the left, that is Hebgen Lake. Here we have the stream view as that earthquake came in. And you can see there was at least 3 earthquakes before this magnitude 3.8. But USGS said it was a 3.7. Let me go ahead. Another 8 hours. I'll move that ahead. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Anyways, there's that 3.8. We'll go ahead another 4 hours. Yeah, it triggered a swarm of earthquakes afterwards. Okay, we'll go ahead another 8 hours. There we go. The top monitor here, now that's a borehole, the borehole there at the Madison River area. And then we got Denny Creek underneath it, the Madison River area. Yeah, you can see all the quakes are heavy in black. And then the bottom one is the western boundary. And I'll go ahead another 8 hours. There we go. Now the borehole at the top here, that only shows what goes on under the ground in that location. It doesn't pick up anything from the outside area. And I'll bring it down and over. And I'll go ahead another 8 hours to show you. Yeah, it's been really active in that area. Go back up to the borehole. It actually shows better there. And we'll go ahead another 8 hours. And we got one significant one here. And it shows up on 3, well, actually 4 monitors. But I'll go ahead another 8 hours. And this is what it's currently showing. Here's the data that I downloaded. I don't have the borehole on here, but I do have Denny Creek. And we'll go to the spectrogram. The next one is the Madison River area. And that's it right there. And then the far right, that is the western boundary. You can see here that the Madison River area, that is probably one of the more pronounced activity that it's picked up. And yeah, there's a lot of other earthquakes afterwards. We got this one was right before it. And then we got that one right before it. This came shortly after. Yeah, there's a lot of quakes, once again, that they do not report. And I'll pull it down to what I did download today. This is what it's showing. We got another earthquake right here. It's marked in red, so they know that it did happen. And we'll go to the seismic signature. Yeah, this is magma movement. Yeah, with popping of the ground. See that rounded? That's an indication of magma rising up in the system. So let me bring it down. We got quite a few in red. We got one here. Another one over here. Several right here, it looks like. Let me pull this up for you. Yeah, there's several there. And another one. 644, it looks like. That's probably the biggest within the last 24 hours, which it doesn't look like they are reporting. We got a 2.1, a 1.3. I believe there was a 2.5. Let's see. Well, originally I thought it was a 2.5. They got it listed now as a 2.1. 7 or 3.0 miles in depth. That's shallow. And let's see, a 1.3. You can see we got a small swarm going on over here. Now, this area is the area when it had its last major eruption, and there's been about 40 smaller eruptions since the last major eruption. But this is the area where it started, and it did its unzipping, a counterclockwise unzipping of the caldera. And when it got down to Heart Lake, which is down over here, right there, that's when the two major calderas, or resurgent domes, excuse me, that's when the two major resurgent domes collapsed. We got the Mallard Lake resurgent dome and then the Sour Creek resurgent dome. They collapsed. And then that's when they had the major eruption. But there was multiple eruptions. They call it an unzipping counterclockwise from the Madison River area. It was a sequence of events. And then, yeah, kaboom. Now, the magnitude 3.8, but USGS, it was a 3.7, occurred at 7:22 a.m. It too was shallow, only 4.4 miles in depth, which made it felt over a very wide area. Now, Yellowstone has between 1,500 to about 2,000 earthquakes every year. And those of you that have been following me for all these years will remember when Hank Hessler, the in-house geologist there at Yellowstone, said when they started having magnitude 2 earthquakes, they would be concerned. Well, they're getting more and more common, the magnitude 2s, and they're getting larger. So this 3.8 was reportedly felt as either intensity level 3 or 4. Some people near the epicenter, including Mammoth Hot Springs and parts of West Yellowstone, and they're in Montana, about 25 kilometers or 16 miles away, said that it was light rumbling, like a truck passing by. Some items inside their homes or businesses swayed, but nothing fell. It was even felt as far as south of Bozeman, Montana, but weakly. So this earthquake was probably a rupture along one of the subsidiary faults that run through here. There's a lot of faults that run through here. Let me bring this out. But to feel it south of Bozeman, that's a long ways away to feel this earthquake. Using Google Earth, I'll go to that location and then I'll map out how many miles that is. Now you can see here it's north. Okay, there we got Bozeman. So it was felt south of Bozeman. And we'll bring it out a little bit farther. So that would be about, because I don't have it right on the right location, 93 kilometers or about 58 miles away. So I wonder if they're going to use this time where it's closed and they don't have snow right now on the ground. They did earlier, like I said, part of the park was closed because of the snow and there was just so many accidents. But that's why you're not going to be seeing any people here at Old Faithful. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to go off soon. Let me check the time. Nope, it's not supposed to go off for about another hour. But, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for you right now. It is recharging. Both resurgent domes are showing uplift. And over the years, I've talked about how it's recharging. Many of the trees, when you're watching the live webcam, will show that they're dying. They're dying because of the gases coming up from under the ground from the magma. It's killing them off. And sometimes, if you're lucky when you're watching, the steam will go gray, or I've seen it as black as coal. And that's because of the magma coming up too, is melting that rock that's under the ground, and it comes up with the steam. So, anyways, yeah, more of the same. Who knows when it's going to go off? That's up to God and what He decides. But anyways, yeah, did you feel that 3.7? Were you there at the park when it occurred, or were you working there? Here's the felt map up there by Gardner. 6 reports from Gardner. Can you believe that? Intensity level 2. That would be at the top here. It says weak. Felt only by a few people that were at rest, especially on upper floors of buildings. Closer to Hebgen Lake, West Yellowstone. Intensity level 2, 1 report there. And then we got, it just says Yellowstone National Park, intensity level 3. That was closer, only 17 kilometers. So that would be about, 10.5 miles. And then, well, this is close to the lake. That's probably Old Faithful, I would say, or close to the area of Old Faithful. Intensity level 3. Looks like the farthest report would probably be Gardner, 28 kilometers to the north. Nope, that's only about 17 miles. The farthest report, actually probably close to Old Faithful, that is 36 kilometers. So that would be about 22 miles, almost 22.5 miles. But remember, it was felt as far as south of Bozeman, which they don't have here on the Did You Feel It website. Another sign that pressure is building. Remember, over there by Hebgen Lake, that's how Earthquake Lake was formed. They had a large earthquake there where a lot of people died back in 1959, I believe it was. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or comments or questions, I do report. I do keep an eye on it. Yeah, just been so busy of late with other things to report and research. Yeah, I've been researching that 3-eye atlas. Anyways, yeah, thank you again. Please be prepared for any type of disaster. If Yellowstone did have another major eruption, it would cool off the planet dramatically and kill off crops. And you think inflation is high now. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to find the food to stock up on. That's why people need to be stocked up ahead of time. You don't wait until after something happens. Example, November 1st, they're expecting problems to start happening with all the threats about no SNAP being sent out. Well, you don't wait until next week to go grocery shopping. Yeah, you do it now so you're not out there taking a chance with some person, yeah, feeling they're entitled, um, wasting food on junk food, and not learning the skills how to make the food stretch. I mean, granted, there are a lot of people that do know how to make their food stretch, and yeah, sometimes people are only $1 more in what they earn makes them ineligible for food stamps. Did you know that some of our military personnel make so little money that they are on food stamps too? Yeah, the U.S. military personnel. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot going on. So anyways, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a link to the live webcam if you want to watch it. Always be prepared. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.